Please remember that this is meant to be a snapshot of topics that affect entrepreneurs, but you should always consult an attorney to customize this type of protection to your specific grind.
Welcome to another episode of
Entrepreneur Bind and Grind.
My name is Reba Jay.
And I am Christine Rose.
And we are here to spread knowledge that can protect the legal and business interests of the modern
entrepreneur who is on their grind.
Today we'll be focusing on the basics of an entrepreneur, so grab a cup of tea.
Or a shot of whiskey.
And let's get to it.
But remember, we are your friends in your head, not your attorney. We started this show because there are so many people out there who are being pushed to be entrepreneurs, but they literally have no idea what they're getting themselves into.
We both have a calling to help people operate in a way that allows them to safely move and push their creations to the world.
So my name is Christine Rose, and I'm originally from New York, born to two immigrants from Haiti who did the damn thing raising my brother and me. I lived the suburban life outside the city, so don't ask me what part. I've moved to Atlanta to attend Emory University, and then I stayed for law school at the Georgia State University College of Law. I am an entertainment, real estate, and corporate attorney, and a lover of all things art. I've been a dancer since I was 3, and honestly believe that creators make the world go round. I've worked or interned for several entertainment companies and law firms over the years, so that's why I feel like I can tell you a little something about a lot of things. I've owned some businesses that have failed and currently in the trenches on creating 2 more companies, so I could tell you a lot about some things. And honestly, that's why I told my birthday twin over here that we needed to start a podcast to address all the issues we are facing and share the knowledge that we have with the world or the 3 people who are currently listening.
So, hey, y'all, my name is Reba Jay. Like Christine, I'm a proud daughter of 2 Grenadian immigrants who also beasted this whole thing we call the American dream. I'm originally from the DMV area and relocated to ATL after law school. I went to undergrad at the University of Maryland, College Park, go Terps, and Charlotte School of Law. I'm a corporate attorney supporting a Fortune 500 tech company with experience in entertainment, government, and financial industries. I have also had an entrepreneurial spirit from my own home beauty salon, shout out to the folks who trusted me with their hair from middle school to law school, an online boutique, and legal consulting company. Not all of these businesses are still around, and I've learned to apply those life lessons to my current venture, Esquire in the City. Through all these years of supporting entrepreneurs in Charlotte, Atlanta, and the DMV, I feel that I have some stories to share and a little bit of wisdom to bestow on my fellow entrepreneurs. So not only did we decide to create this podcast, but we took it a step further and created a media company. Yes, y'all, we have a whole media company where we hope to host a number of diverse podcasts in addition to Entrepreneur Bind and Grind.
If you have an idea to create a podcast or you have a podcast that you would like to join the 28 Media family, feel free to reach out to us on our socials.
Okay, we are going to share some additional information around contracts, which everyone needs to know, but especially entrepreneurs.
Who can and cannot form contracts. All right, so nobody under 18, no one unconscious, nobody sleep, etc. And while some of y'all will conduct business meetings at restaurants, bars, or strip clubs, drunk people cannot consent.
You may get them on your side during that outing, but get that official paperwork signed the next day. In the afternoon, preferably after the hangover.
Okay, so what is a contract? It has 3 parts: an offer, acceptance, and consideration. So an offer is basically an open invitation to an acceptance. It spells out the terms that another party can accept.
Then an acceptance is just that. You accept the terms that were offered. You may still create a contract with a counteroffer, which just means that you create a new and different term to the original offer.
Right. So then we have mutual assent. So this is kind of where you need mutual assent in order for a contract to be finalized. If I think that I'm buying your used Maserati and you're talking about your used Honda CR-V, the contract we made for $10,000 doesn't make any sense. we need to agree on the same thing.
And last, we have a promise. There has to be a promise to do something. You have to provide a service or a product, and there just needs to be an exchange of value. That exchange of value is called consideration. Usually, consideration can be as small as $1. It's just something that's a placeholder for value to make sure that your contract is legit.
Okay, so the different types of contracts that you need as an entrepreneur, especially starting out. First, you need the partnership agreement. If it's just you, of course, you don't need this. Multiple people, you need a partnership agreement. Your operating agreement can kind of be your partnership agreement, but if you have multiple people or people who are employees, but their roles are defined, you need to have all of that in the operating agreement. So it's a step above your partnership agreement.
Then you also have NDA confidentiality agreements. So this is really important because you want to make sure that any discussions that you're having with potential partners is protected and they can't use what you talked about and really, run with it without you. And we're going to have an episode in the future that goes a little bit more into that. The next one is engagement contracts. So if you're representing someone or you're providing them a service, it really is just a way for you to break out exactly what you're going to be providing them, how much they owe you for this, and just the terms and the scope of that agreement.
All right, so after the engagement contract, you have a termination contract. That's when you let people know, my services are done, here's what I've done, run me my check.
Yep. And please do not think that you still have me on your hold and you could call me up for additional services. No, we're now done. If you want something new, we have to have a whole new contract.
Yes, and then we have the employee contracts. Now, I say employee contracts, but I consider them any type of employment contract. So that is an actual employee contract. Then some other things that we're going to go on to in a little bit, but just know that if you have employees, have a contract, have a handbook if you have multiple employees and especially multiple departments. If you're running at that type of level, you definitely need a handbook.
Yes. And then we also have services contracts, which I kind of mentioned with engagement. So if you're a very service-based business, you want to make sure that you're specifying exactly what service you're providing people. If you're providing them with tech, if you're providing them with management of that tech. I work for a tech company, guys. Sorry, that's all I really be thinking about. But so those type of services, you include that in that contract. And again, it just expresses the scope of what you'll be providing and how much they'll be paying for that.
Right.
And then you have independent contractor contracts. So if they're not employees like Christine just mentioned, and they are doing work on your behalf, but you don't have them in your books as employees where you have to give them benefits and all that good stuff, they're independent contractors. So you want to make sure they have a specific agreement that lets them know what they can and cannot do to a certain extent, because if you overreach in that contract, it will definitely turn into an employment contract.
Right. Okay. So you can catch us in future episodes where we delve into these topics more in depth. You'll definitely hear a lot about NDA and engagement contracts and partnership agreements this season. We're going to delve into other ones more in the seasons that are coming. And then, just the basics of being an entrepreneur is some serious business. It's not an easy life, and it definitely is not for everyone.
No, it is not. The concepts aren't hard, but putting them together so it's a beautiful symphony of having your stuff together is hard.
Especially since most of us are learning as we go along and as we grow.
Make sure that you protect yourself by putting contracts in place with everyone.
Mama gotta sign that engagement letter too.
This episode has been brought to you by 28 Media, executively produced by Christine Rose and Reba Jay, theme music and recording by Creative Villains, and sound engineering by Kurt.